Every year, millions of Americans struggle under the crushing weight of debt. Credit cards, student loans, car payments, medical bills, it feels like an endless cycle. In fact, the average U.S. household carries over $100,000 in debt. That's not just a number, that's years of stress, sleepless nights, and the constant worry of how to make ends meet. But here's the real truth. The hardest part about debt isn't actually paying it. It's deciding how to pay it. If you've ever sat at your kitchen table, staring at a stack of bills and wondering where to even begin, you're not alone. It can feel overwhelming, almost paralyzing. Some experts tell you to go after the highest interest rates first. Others insist you should start with your smallest balance. Both sound convincing, but which one really works? That's exactly what we're going to break down today. The Debt Snowball Method versus the Debt Avalanche Method. By the end of this video, you'll not only understand both strategies, but you'll also know which one will save you the most money and which one will keep you motivated all the way to the finish line. Mistakes people make before starting. Before we dive into the methods, let's address the biggest mistake people make when tackling debt. And that mistake is not having a strategy at all. Instead, they pay random amounts. One month, they throw a little extra at a credit card. The next month, they skip a payment. The next month, they move money to a personal loan. The result? It's like running on a treadmill. You're sweating, you're putting in the effort, but you're not going anywhere. Without a clear strategy, it feels like you're always behind. That's why step one in any debt payoff journey isn't about which bill to pay first. Step one is choosing a system that you can stick to. And that's where Snowball and Avalanche come in. What is the Debt Snowball Method? Let's start with the Debt Snowball Method. This strategy is all about momentum. Imagine you're standing on a snowy hill with a small snowball in your hands. You roll it down the hill, and as it moves, it gets bigger and faster. That's exactly how this method works. Here's the process. List all your debts from the smallest balance to the largest. Make the minimum payments on all of them. Take every extra dollar you can find and throw it at the smallest debt first. Once that smallest debt is gone, roll the payment you are making into the next smallest debt. Repeat the process until every debt is wiped out. The beauty of this method is psychological. Every time you knock out a debt, even if it's just a $300 store card, you get a quick win. That win gives you energy. It proves that progress is possible. And those little bursts of progress keep you motivated through the entire journey. It's not the most mathematically efficient way, but it's the most emotionally effective. And that's why so many people succeed with it. Because at the end of the day, money is numbers, but debt payoff is a mental game. Now, let's flip it around and talk about the Debt Avalanche Method. This one is less about emotions and more about pure math. Instead of paying the smallest balance first, you focus on the debt with the highest interest rate. The steps look like this. List all your debts by interest rate from highest to lowest. Make minimum payments on all of them. Put every extra dollar you have toward the debt with the highest interest. Once it's gone, move to the next highest interest rate, and so on. The advantage here is simple. You save the most money. By knocking out high-interest debt first, you reduce how much you're losing in interest payments. Over time, this method can save you hundreds or even thousands of dollars. But here's the catch. The debt with the highest interest rate isn't always the smallest balance. In fact, it might be your largest balance. That means it could take months, maybe even years, before you fully eliminate your first debt. And during that time, it's easy to feel like you're not making progress at all. That's why some people give up on Avalanche before it ever pays off. Real example, Snowball versus Avalanche. Let's bring this to life with an example. Imagine you have three debts: a $1,000 credit card at 20% interest, a $5,000 personal loan at 8% interest, and a $10,000 student loan at 5% interest. If you use the Snowball Method, you start with the $1,000 credit card simply because it's the smallest. You'll feel progress right away when you clear it. The downside? Over time, you'll end up paying more in interest overall compared to Avalanche. Now, with the Avalanche method, you'd also start with the $1,000 credit card because it also has the highest interest. In this case, both methods overlap and you get the best of both worlds. But let's say your debts were ordered differently. Maybe a $7,000 loan at 18% and a $500 card at 3%. Then Avalanche would save you far more money, while Snowball would give you faster wins. So, which one works better? Here's the truth. Both strategies work. The better question is, which one works better for you? If you're someone who struggles to stay motivated, who needs quick wins to feel like you're moving forward, then the Snowball Method might be your best choice. It gives you those early victories that build momentum. On the other hand, if you're disciplined, patient, and willing to wait for a big payoff, then the Avalanche Method is your ticket to saving the most money. It's like choosing between fast motivation and long-term savings. And here's something interesting. Research from the Harvard Business Review found that people are more likely to succeed with the Snowball Method, not because it's mathematically superior, but because those early psychological wins keep people engaged. Meanwhile, financial calculators show the Avalanche Method saves you the most money, but only if you stick with it until the end. And here's the most important part: the hidden key to success. But let's not miss the real secret here. The biggest factor in paying off debt isn't Snowball or Avalanche, it's consistency. Most people fail not because they chose the wrong strategy, but because they quit halfway. So, whichever method you choose, the most important thing is to commit. If you go Snowball, don't stop until the very last balance is cleared. If you go Avalanche, don't let the slow start discourage you. Bonus: the hybrid strategy. Now, here's a powerful option most people overlook: the hybrid strategy. This approach combines the best of both worlds. You start with Snowball to build quick momentum, knocking out one or two small debts right away. Then, once you feel that confidence boost, you switch to Avalanche to save the most money in the long run. This way, you get the motivation at the beginning and the financial efficiency later. For many people, this is the sweet spot. Final thoughts. Debt is heavy, stressful, and overwhelming, but it's not permanent. Whether you choose Snowball, Avalanche, or Hybrid, what matters most is that you start today. Imagine a year from now. You look back at this moment and realize it was the turning point, the moment you stopped feeling stuck and started moving forward. So here's your action step. List out every single debt. Decide on Snowball, Avalanche, or Hybrid. Commit and automate your payments. And most importantly, stay the course. Because the only wrong strategy in debt repayment is doing nothing at all.